In this short video, we say goodbye to Rarotonga in the Cook Islands and we set our sails for Niue. When the north wind kicked in, making the little harbour in Abbottee totally untenable for us and several other yachts, we left, all heading our separate ways, some heading up to the northern Cooks, us heading to Niue. The weather was very unsettled as we left. The trade winds had disappeared and we were faced with a wind right on our nose, which is quite rare for this part of the world. Not only were the winds right on our nose and we had to tack our way into them, we had to reduce our sails down to about 50% because of the ever-present threat of squalls, which were going to blow us out of the water at any minute. On the horizon we can see a line of squalls, which would give us 36 knots right on sundown. Our track on day one as we sailed towards Niue. As you can see in this beautiful shot of the sunset we were heading into, day two gave us light and variable winds that had us working very hard, trimming the sails constantly just to make our way towards our target. Our track on day two showed, with all of the work we were putting into trimming the sails, we were able to sail a bit closer to the rum line and cover a few more miles for the 24 hours. Day three, we were sailing with the ever-present threat of squalls, but the trade winds were starting to fill back in, and we were slowly making more progress as each day went by. It's time to put the lures in the water, and this time they were only in the water for a few minutes and all three rods went off. We found a school of tuna, and that moment when one tuna self-releases. A second fish escaped, leaving us only one to capture, and that was a lovely skipjack tuna of about 8 kilos. It's time to make the back of Annecam look like a crime scene as we fillet this beautiful little tuna. The three stand-up game fishing tackle fishing rods that did all the damage. It's time to give our deck wash a run and clean up all of the aftermath off Annecam's stern, the deck wash being that black plastic bucket. Here she is, all clean again. Until next time. Our progress towards our target continues. I guess you could say it's the latitudes we are sailing in, but there is always the threat of squalls. Heavy rain with lots of wind. Call it good luck or just good management. We did manage to dodge most of these things on this passage. Our track continues, even up past Beveridge Reef. Nighttime views at the navigation station. We keep sailing on this amazing journey through this beautiful part of the world. Niue is only a few hours away. Soon we'll be able to sing out, "Land ho!" And just as the sun was rising on this final morning of this passage, I put the lures out once again, but this time the fish wouldn't play the game, all for nothing. We have the ability to tilt our solar panels so we make the maximum effect of the beautiful rays from the sun to charge our batteries. I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, but underneath our genoa is the faintest of outlines of an island shrouded with cloud. Niue comes into sight, so I'll make the call, land ho! With beautiful conditions like these, flat seas, a gentle 10 knots of trade wind striking us at 90 degrees to our starboard bow, we were able to broad reach with 75% of our genoa up and our full mainsail sitting up there propelling us along at 7 knots. We approach the island of Niue from the north end. We're going down behind the island on the west side to a lovely little anchorage in a place called Alofi, where we will take a mooring that is run by the local yacht club. Here we are in Rock and Roll City, as the swell generated by the trade winds laps around the west side of the island and comes back into this lovely little anchorage and causes us to roll a little bit. We couldn't believe our eyes when late in the afternoon on day 2 a pod of humpback whale came within a few feet of Annecam. The cow kept pushing the calf closer and closer to our boat. It was an incredible sight to see them so close, so personal. Parting wave or parting shots of the bull in the pod. We take our dinghy into the local dock, where we will be craned out. We operate the crane and we steady the dinghy in the process. The dock is a hive of activity. They have a big yellow crane set up there for lifting containers that are brought in by barge from the supply ship who happens to be anchored offshore at the moment. We have to hove to in our dinghy and wait while they lift one of the local dive club boats into the water with the same crane that we'll use to lift our dinghy out. We've picked a nice flat day to be in here. Normally there's about a metre or more of surge running through, which makes life very interesting. And if you did get caught in that surge, you could end up here on top of that coral reef, which would do you no good, nor your dinghy. We had to quickly stop the filming, and it was all hands on as our dinghy tried to flip over. Some of the workers there unloading the container ship came to our rescue, and all was saved. Go, Annie. We drop our dinghy on the trailer provided to take it up to the parking area. Tilt the motor up to save the propeller. And it really makes it easier if you unhook it off the crane before you try to move it. Neatly parked in the dinghy parking area, awaiting our return. We walk up into the town from the docking area. You can see the cargo ship in the background where they're unloading the containers one at a time via the barge into the yellow crane where they're lifted onto a waiting truck. And this island is limestone base, and there are literally hundreds of these sinkholes all over the place. Some of them, they say, go down over a mile. The very busy main street here in Alofi on the island of Niue. The sign that says it all. Back out at Annecam. It's time to jump in the water and take a swim around just to check we have a clean hull ready for the next part of our voyage back to Australia. It's hard to imagine this water's about 20 metres deep. That's 60 feet. And the water clarity is so clear you can see the bottom like you're in 3 metres of water. These are very well maintained moorings. The yacht club tell us they pull them out every year, wash them, dry them and service them, ready for the next season. Well, it's official. We do have a very clean bottom, ready for the next passage.